This is the same data that I've used in the previous video as well. As you can see, these are the various columns in this earthquakes data. I will leave the link to this data in the description box. And if I go to place column and click on drop down, and in the search box, I can enter any value. Say, for example, if I enter this value and click OK, if there are any matching values, those will be filtered as shown here. And I can also try another value here. Say if I type in Texas and click OK, those filtered values are shown in this column. And I can type in some other text, say for example California or CA, and click OK. Those values will be filtered. The reason why I'm doing is that I want to create a calculated column region. And let me just go to a new column here in this table view. I will name this column to region, and I will use switch function, region equal to switch, and for the expression I will use true, and for the value I will use another DAX function, contains string, and this contains string will be useful in our case, and I will use the place column for the first parameter, which is within text. Let me add that column here, and comma. For the find text, I want to find this text. I will type in Oklahoma, and I have these two parameters for the contains string function, and close the parenthesis. And for the result in the switch function, I will type in Oklahoma. In case if I want to copy down this line of code, I can use Alt, Shift, and down arrow, and I have the second line automatically placed for me. All I have to do is tweak the code here. Instead of Oklahoma, I will change it to Texas in these two places. So I have Texas here and Texas in the result value. And to save time, let me bring in the rest of the code block. I will paste it here. This is the rest of the code, and I have several conditions, value and results there for the switch function. And in the else, I have other. Once I commit, I have a region column. This is a calculated column. Let me commit to it. On the bottom right, you can see the region column is ready. And there is a magnitude column in our table. Let me just go to that column here. Let me scroll to that column, magnitude. And if I look at the values, there are a series of values. So every earthquake, based on the magnitude, it will release some energy. And that energy is called as seismic energy. So let me add another new calculated column. Let me name it as seismic energy. I can use the standard formula, which is available on the internet. Let me use the DAX function power. And power expects two parameters, number and the result of a number raised to a power. I will type in 10 here. And this is the value that should be raised to. So 1.5 times the magnitude plus 4.8. This is the formula for finding out the seismic energy. And the seismic energy is computed in joules. And because we know unit of energy is joules. And let me copy and paste the formula here. This is the actual formula. We have used the power function in DAX and created this calculated column. And we have two columns ready, region and seismic energy. And now that we have created this seismic energy column, I thought I will create another calculated column. And I want to compute energy equivalent to TNT equivalent energy in tons. This is the formula. I've pasted the code to save time. And this is the calculated column. So we have three columns, region, seismic energy, and energy in TNT equivalent. Let me change the formatting for this column. That's done. And in case if I want, I can create a measure, seismic energy. We have already used the calculated column to compute this value, but I can use SUMX function. For the SUMX, it expects two parameters, table and an expression. I will add the table here, earthquakes. I want SUMX function to go into this table and row by row and apply the expression. Let me paste the expression code here. And once I commit, I have my total seismic energy as a measure. Let me change the formatting to scientific. And finally, let me also create another measure. Let me do the formatting for this measure, total seismic. And let me create another measure. Let me name this measure as significant events. Since I have a magnitude column, I thought I will create this measure by using calculate function for the expression for calculate total earthquakes. And for the filter condition, since I have a magnitude column, I will put the condition as if magnitude is greater than or equal to 5. That is the filter condition. I want to find out the number of significant events. By committing to this code, I have that ready. So I have my measures and everything ready, so I can refresh this data periodically so that I can get the most up-to-date data. Based on these columns and calculated columns and the measures, I have created a report page. Let me show you that report page. And this is the report page. As you can see, there are various visuals. There is a relative date slicer on the left. I've used the date column from the table. And there is a card visual here where total seismic energy, average magnitude, and significant events are added to that. There are a couple of slicers for the magnitude and also the region column, which we have just computed, right? The calculated column. So user has several options, and also there is a scatter plot here, and there is a table visual as well. You can pause the video and look at the values which have been passed to those visuals. And based on the needs, the user will make selections. For example, last one day, those values will change. If there are any available values, those values will change in the card visuals and as well as the scatter plot and the table visual. And by using the slider in the magnitude slider, user can find out if there are any events, for example, if any significant events and all. As you can see, based on the selections, all the values are changing, right? Similarly, in the region column also, you can make selections. And every time you make selections in all those slicers, you have to, if you want to unselect, you have to go and use that option in each of those slicers, right? For example, as shown here, you have to do that. Instead, I thought I can insert a button. And let me go to insert. Let me go to buttons. Let me add clear all slicers. This is pretty handy in case if you have too many slicers here. In case if you want the values to go back to default after the selections, you can add this. Let me move it here, clear all slicers. And by selecting that button, let me go to the format section. Let me change a couple of things here. Let me add an icon. And let me also add some background color. My clear all slicers is ready. So if the user makes selections on any of those slicers, and if they want to go back to default value in Power BI desktop, they can click on Control and click so that those values will go back to default. Based on the selections, the values are changing, and we have this magnitude and energy analysis report page ready. And in case if you see on the top, we have added that total seismic energy measure, right? So instead, we can always use the calculated column as well here. So we have that option. And let me just go ahead and change the formatting for energy. Let me add a couple of default decimal places. Maybe I'll add 4. And that is taken care for the energy calculated column. And let me replace this total seismic energy measure with the calculated column, which we have just computed. Let me drag it here, seismic energy. And by selecting that visual, let me go to cards and let me change the background for this particular card to any other value. Perfect. Now we have a calculated column as well. So you can swap it out with the measure or the calculated column here. And being the default behavior in Power BI, if you click on any of those visuals, all the other visuals will be interactive and change the values. And like shown here, you can hover over those visuals and you can see the values there. And making selections is pretty easy, and you can clear all slicer selections and make it to default that way. And let me rename this field in the card visual. Instead of sum, let me change it to seismic energy. So in a short time, we could create this report page by creating calculated columns and couple of measures. This is pretty cool. And again, this is video 2 of this series. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.